is a bunny chow day. Hello. Firstly, just take a look at my bunny chow. I haven't had a bunny chow in like 1,000 years. It's very fitting though, since we're eating South African Indian cuisine. Also, you know, it's November. If you don't know, November is the month when Indians were first brought to South Africa 164 years ago. My standard grade maths is still serving me well. Listen, if you're South African Indian, I feel like looking back on how far we've come in that time, it makes me, and I know this sounds so cheesy and corny, but it makes me really proud to be South African Indian. I don't know what being South African Indian means to you, but to me, it means so many different things. Yeah, so to me it means so many different things. You know, if I think about how my identity has been shaped, so many different factors. And as fun and colorful as it is to be South African Indian, I don't think many people realize like the complexities that come with this identity. And honestly, if you think about it, it makes sense. If you think about the journey that we've been on since as far back as 1860, it makes sense that this identity comes with so many complexities. We have been exposed to such a diversity of factors since 1860 till today. Obviously, our identities are going to be complex. And I feel like one of the things that we've had to deal with as South African Indians is generational trauma. And I know, especially if you're my age, I know that you still feel the effects of generational trauma today. You might not know it, but the effects are there, still lingering today. You know, one example of this, and I speak for myself here, but I know it's something that you can all definitely relate to, is the very perfect standards that our parents have for us. And I've made jokes about this in the past on my channel, like, you know, getting 98% for a maths test and my mother asking me what happened to the other 2%. I made jokes about that, but those were actual real things that were said to me as a child. I mean, that's just like one example of like a million. And it's really true, and Indian females especially will know what it's like living with mothers who have these very unrealistic expectations of us. But of course, I want to make this very clear, because I'm a very mature individual, I hold absolutely no bitterness, no resentment towards my parents for having those high expectations for us. You know, it may have made me feel bad as a child growing up, but I'm not sitting here like very bitter about that, because I understand that they raised us to the best of their ability. They raised us with the knowledge and the resources that they were handed when they were growing up. So, you know, I can't blame them because it's generational. It was the way they were raised, and then it was the way their parents were raised, and it just goes back and back and back like that, like an opposite domino effect, you know. And actually, not only do I have no bitterness about it, no resentment about it, but I actually embraced it. I embraced it and I made peace with it, knowing that the power lies with me. I have the power and I have the responsibility to break away from those teachings moving forward and learn from that moving forward when it comes to raising my own children, if I ever have children one day, you know, and learn and know better than to just repeat it, and raise my kids to the best of my ability. If you're South African Indian, especially if you're my age, please let me know. Comment and let me know what's your experiences with generational trauma. I feel like, you know, these perfect standards that we have to live up to, it's just one example, but tell me like how it impacted your life. If you do want to share that, let me know. I also feel like with generational trauma, it's kind of inevitable. If you think about the journey that we have been on since 1860, since we came here as just workers in the sugarcane fields, to where Indians are now in South Africa. And what a drastic change it has been for us. Those like perfect standards that our parents have had for us and their parents and their parents, it kind of makes sense because from 1860 we've been pushing for a better life for ourselves and for our people, and because we've constantly been pushing like that to strive for a better life, we've kind of always wanted the best for ourselves, and it's kind of led us to have these high expectations and sometimes very unrealistic expectations. So it kind of makes sense that our parents are like this, and it's because their parents push them and their parents push them. So that's why I feel like we can't be bitter about it. But of course we all have our own ways of dealing with the generational trauma. I'm just speaking for myself when I say I don't have the time to have resentment about it. I don't have the time to be bitter about it all my life. I rather just walk on with grace and learn from those lessons, which brings me to why I'm really here. I stumbled upon a short film. I'm leaving the link somewhere here. Firstly, before I even go further, I need you to know that it is a horror, so please do not watch it with your kids. It's a little bit gory in some parts, but it is in my opinion, it is such a creative take on how South African Indians have to deal with the hardships that come with generational trauma till today. I really love the symbolism, and I love the artistry. There are some references that are made in the short film to Mother Kali, because for me Mother Kali is a representation of dealing with our evils head on, and from that transforming ourselves and almost like rebirthing ourselves. And so yeah, it was just a really creative way on like how South African Indians deal with the hardships of generational trauma. Also, in case you didn't know, it does star a legend in South Africa. Her name is Mariam Bassa, aka Aya from the Kandasamis. So you will see a familiar face when you watch that short film, although you're gonna see her in a very different light. Aya from the Kandasamis is like this jokey mad Aya, and sounds like me actually. Here she's obviously in a very different, much more serious role, so it's nice to see her in a different role. Also, the short film was made by a filmmaker who has South African Indian ancestry. Her family is actually from Pietermaritzburg. That's really cool. So I love the like little connections and really great representation of South African Indians, and I just love anything that gives us representation, that puts us on the map. Yeah, give it a watch. It is very creative, so you really have to put your thinking caps on. You can't be a lazy thinker with this short film. Yeah, and just bear in mind that it deals with generational trauma, and let me know what your take is on generational trauma and what it's like for you growing up as a South African Indian, dealing with those dynamics of that, those generational gaps. If it's not your cup of tea, that's fine as well. I just thought it would be nice to share, because anything that talks about the hardships that we deal with, I think it's such an important conversation to have. Yeah, that's about it. Okay, leave me to eat my bunny chow now. Stop looking at me eating my bunny chow now. I know. Okay, no, stop looking at me. Stop it.
morning stretch. Oh, I'm so jealous. Oh, hello. Everyone's coming out of the woodworks here. Hello. Happy Saturday, everyone. Ugh.
Isn't it so crazy how quickly we become so lazy? Like the air fryer transformed our lives, cut down oven time by a lot of minutes. We can make a whole gourmet meal in minutes. And now I'm getting angry because I have to waste 20 seconds of my life putting one of these liners in. Like, so quickly we become so lazy. Also, good morning. Also, just mind my hair. Like, I just woke up, leave me alone. Oh, also, this is not what I was gonna say, but also, I don't know if there's a more annoying feeling in the world when this thing breaks. I want to break everything in the house when this thing breaks, even though I have a million others that I can use. When I break this thing, I just want to break everything. Anyway, also, this is that upside down? It is. This is breakfast today. It's very possible that I've mentioned this before, but I really enjoy these wings from Spa. Hashtag not sponsored, hashtag should be sponsored. But they're not amazing. No, they are nice. I like that they are a little bit spicy. I'm lying. They're quite spicy. But yeah, quite tasty if you're interested. Cool. It doesn't look so nice on camera, but it's tasty.
What do you mean? What is it?
My wings. My wings.
Oh, this is your wings? There's bones in it.
Right? Good.
Let me tell you about my midlife crisis that I'm having. I have been to the chiropractor twice. My back has collapsed and it's been a month now. Sitting, standing, going to the toilet, can't even sneeze, can't cough, can't drive. The 30s is very real, very real. Still in a lot of pain. And then it was getting better, and then I drove, and then we went back to square one. So I'm starting again now with the healing. So yeah, if you have any tips or tricks for your lower back, I'm doing normal lower back exercises, but if you have any like magical tricks for your lower back pain, let me know. But this to me is not like an easy pain, it's a very deep pain. The fact that it's taking like a month. And then other thing about my third year life crisis, I have to start dyeing my hair, guys. The grays, they are just out of control. They are out of control. And I'm so scared to start dyeing it because once you start, it's game over. Lucky you can't see now, the light is shining so everything looks grey. But wow, it's bad. That is my midlife, my 1/3 of a life crisis.
Try some Doom.
On my itches.
Yeah, please, mate. Go. Settle in, so.
Oh gosh. Isn't it ironic how Cyril Ramaphosa is a businessman, and this is, I think, the worst the economy has ever been under him.
Yeah.
So ironic.
But Suru will argue that he inherited.
They always argue that.
Yeah.
Everything they inherited.
Kidding.
And this applies to everything in life. You can inherit the worst kind of legacy from your parents, their parents, whatever, but it's up to you to turn it around. So yes, Cyril inherited all this nonsense,
Yeah.
but what did he do?
He was
There's no point stealing more.
Yeah.
But when you're in a downward spiral,
No,
we may have reached a point of no return.
no.
Then what happened with the
No.
electricity minister?
There is never reaching a point of no return.
The problem is, you may have the best solutions because you're clever like Cyril Ramaphosa to make money, but without the resources, it's all gone. How the hell are you going to? And corruption is so rife. Where do you start to put it right?
You start with yourself. At some point, we have to make a distinction between a businessman and a thief in a powerful position.
Yeah. I don't know. The world was just full of dictators and power hungry.
Crazy people.
Yeah.
Speaking of hungry,
You're hungry.
I don't know why I'm just eating everything. Oh,
That was tasty.
these were tasty.
Yeah.
Really?
Checkers is really, I don't know, it's becoming the next Woolworths or something. I've been seeing videos of the Checkers in Amshlanga. Yo, that Checkers is living a very different life.
Any store in a
Affluent
upmarket area,
Yeah.
they get the best. Let me tell you.
Why must the rest of us suffer? It's Checkers is Checkers.
But remember, behind every cake that comes out of there is a human being.
Sounds like a very deep saying.
Is a
Behind every cake is a human being.
So, Amshlanga, they can afford to employ the best baker, chef. Yeah, I don't know, oh man.
Look at her muscle there. Her guns. It's like you've got dad's head in your arm.
He's got a small head. Oh, it's a bald head. I've got his head in my calf muscle.
As long as his head is nowhere else.